Here. Okay, we're recording. Okay, thanks everyone for jumping on, and hello, Maria's team. So we've been planning to do this for a couple weeks, but schedules have been crazy, and I forgot that one week. Totally just slipped, like I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're finally doing this. So I guess we'll each say something about our story and our journey, and then go from there about going Ruby. Do you want to start, or do you want me to start? It's going to be hard to follow up your story.
It's fine. You could start, and then I'll go.
Okay, mine's not nearly as cool as Maria's, but my name's Allie. I got started with It Works last May. I was a customer before for probably 3 or 4 months. I think I went a little over the normal 90-day challenge, and I liked the products, and honestly, it was just okay, let's do it kind of thing. I didn't have a good why. I didn't necessarily need the money at the time. I was just okay, this sounds fun kind of thing. My enroller I actually knew from high school, and she'd messaged me a bunch of times about the products, and I watched her journey, but I never really thought oh, I should do that too. And then after I was done ordering, she's like, oh, do you think you want to do this? And at first I was oh, I don't know. And then it was the silliest promotion. You got the essential oils in your kit, in your business builder kit. And I was okay, I'm sold, let's do it. So I just kind of jumped right in. Like I said, I didn't have a why at the time. I was just this sounds fun. Let's go for it. And I was literally ignorance on fire. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was just having so much fun with it. Oh, my cats are climbing in this pile of boxes behind me. I was just having so much fun, and I remember texting my enroller all the time, this is so fun, and I was just enrolling customers like crazy, enrolling a couple distributors, but I had no idea what I was doing charting-wise or promoting-wise, and that's why I wanted to do this Zoom too. I went Ruby in September that year, so 4 months to Ruby, but it was the kind of thing where, I was signing people, but I wasn't understanding placing and charting, so a couple, one of my uplines placed some customers under me, and that's what got me to Ruby. I was signing the customers, but I'd be oh, darn, I forgot to move them and stuff like that. So I wasn't a very good downline or a very good promotion box because I didn't know what I was doing. And I still don't think I really knew what I was doing until I went Emerald in March. I went Emerald in March, got the $5,000 bonus. Well, actually, Maria and we met in November, I think, was when our accountability chat started. And it was just a group of, I think there's 9 or 10 or 11 girls. And Courtney and I have been the ones that have just stayed in touch throughout the whole journey. We all started as rubies, and now we're all diamonds. So that's pretty cool. And I think part of the big reason that I pushed so hard for Emerald was after conference, and I saw Maria in person. And that was cool. And then I went diamond in June and got the $7,500 bonus. And now, I didn't have a why at the time, but now I'm a full-time nurse. I work as a baby nurse, and I love it, but I hate working. I love my job, but I just I hate working. I don't want to work as much as I do. And 3 days a week doesn't sound that bad. And in nursing school, everyone's oh yeah, 3 days a week, you're going to love it, 4 days off, but it's freaking hard. 12-hour shifts are hard. And it's just I don't know, it doesn't sound as glamorous as it is, just having 3 days to work and then you can get off the rest of your shifts. So in January, before I promoted, I guess it's probably February, I found out I was pregnant, and I already hate going to work 3 days a week. So now I'm oh my gosh, how am I going to go back to work full time after I have this baby? I'm due in October. So now, as long as work lets me, I'm going to go part-time. If they don't let me, I'm probably going to go find a new job that will let me go part-time. Or even less than part-time, do a casual contingent type position. So because of It Works, I'll get to stay home with my baby way more. It's my first baby, so I'm just super excited about that, and so thankful that I'm able to do that, because I'm already I hate going to work. I can't imagine having to leave a newborn to go take care of other people's newborns. That would just suck. I love taking care of other people's newborns, but if I could have the choice to stay home and take care of my newborn, I'd rather do that.
Yeah. That's awesome. And you're going to get to experience being a stay-at-home mom with your first baby.
Yes. Look at
amazing.
your little dot.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Like
sweet.
for me, do you want me to?
Yeah, you go ahead. Go right into it.
All right. Well, my name is Maria, and I'm a diamond leader with Ali. We are accountability partners, and like she said, we started us two. We met in November. We started off as rubies, and now we're diamonds. But my journey was a little longer than hers, so my journey is actually way, way, way longer. But I'm gonna try to keep it short and simple. So I started It Works 3 years ago. So I've been in the business for 3 years, and not that it took 3 years for me to go diamond, it took me 3 years to go diamond with It Works, because this could have been done. There has been people that have went diamond in 30 days, but I took like almost 3 years to go diamond, and that was all my fault. That was all because I sat on my business. I just signed up. Okay, so when before It Works, I was actually a bank teller. I used to work at a bank, and it was still not enough money, so I used to work at a restaurant just waitressing um, in the nights, well, after, from evening all the way up to midnight. And I used to leave to work really early in the morning, like around 6 in the morning. So um, it was dark outside, and then I would go to the bank, come out, go to the restaurant, get out like at midnight, go back home, sleep, repeat the same thing over and over again. And I had two little girls at that time. I had two. I have four girls now, but I had two, my two oldest, and I barely used to see them, like barely. Like I said, I used to go to the bank, go to the restaurant, repeat the next day, barely used to see them. So then after that, I got pregnant with my third. I went back to work from maternity leave, and that's when I'm like, okay, I have to find something that's gonna allow me to like at least just have one job, because I was so tired of like, just working like crazy and still struggling and not having enough money. So yeah, I saw a post about the wrap, and obviously I had just had my third baby, so I had loose skin, and I was curious. I wanted to try the wrap, although I was a little skeptical, but I wanted to try it. So I messaged the girl. I wanted to be a customer, even though I was broke. And I think that's just like a vicious cycle of like a typical broke person, right? Like, you don't have the money, but you just feel like you want to spend it. So I wanted it, but I thought about it. I'm like, no, you know why? It's so expensive. But then I saw that she posted something about the business. So I'm like, oh, what if I do the business, like earn a little extra cash and use the products? So whatever, I signed up, and I signed up a few customers here and there, but it wasn't nothing crazy. I sat on my business as a distributor for 2 years. It was on my second year anniversary that like something like my life just went downhill, because I wasn't taking this business seriously. I was just, like if you treat your business like a business, it's going to treat you like a business. And if you just treat it like, like a hobby, then don't expect to get paid like a real business, because you're going to get paid at, whatever you work for. So I was treating my business like a hobby, just working it here and there, signing a few customers here and there. There were months that I wasn't even commission qualified. Like that's how bad it was. And but yeah, and then on my second year anniversary, like something happened that like changed everything for me. Um, my situation just went from bad to worse to worse to worse to I hit rock bottom. Um, we ended up in a shelter with my little girls. We were in a shelter, and I remember like what changed everything was that my little one, she was, I believe, 1.5 or something like that at that time. She wanted milk, and I didn't realize that we didn't have milk in the fridge. And then yes, I was on food stamps and all of that, but I guess we had, I don't know, but the point is that I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything. I didn't have money. I had change. So I remember just counting up change, and my husband too. We were just counting up change. Like we were so broke. Like we were both working, but I think it was near the end of like the next paycheck. So we were so broke, and we didn't have the money, like not even in change. That's how bad it was. We didn't even have the money to buy a $5 gallon of milk. And it's because I live in New York City, so prices here are crazy. So we didn't even have that to like go buy milk, and she was basically crying, and I just like held her like this, put her like, I just put her to sleep hungry. And that that was a game changer for me because I promised myself, I promised her that was never going to happen again. I got on my knees and, I prayed, and I just got up. I was like, okay, that's it. Like, I know that I have an amazing opportunity in my hands. And I know that if I truly put in the work, like everyone's saying to put in the work, and, that's it. So that's what I did. I didn't go to sleep until I sent out 100 messages. I made sure it was 100 messages, exactly 100 messages. So I sent them out. I went to sleep. And then the next morning, I woke up to so many people saying yes, like so many people saying yes. And I was just so overwhelmed. I'm like, I've never sent out this many messages before. I don't know why I did. I don't know what I was doing to myself. And then from there, I went executive that next month. And then I went Ruby. I earned the Ruby box that they had at that time. It was like a promotion, whatever. And then we went to conference. I met Ali. I went Emerald, or earned a $5,000 bonus. And then 2 months after that, I went Diamond. And now I get to work full time from home here with my 4 girls, and I don't have to worry about maternity leave. She's about to turn 2 months, so I would have been back at work right now. Like, I would have been, like, maternity leave would have been done. And I'm just thankful that thanks to it works. I don't have to worry about, like, leaving my daughters with anyone else, because first of all, that would have been so expensive, my whole paycheck.
Yeah, seriously, with all of them.
Yeah. So thanks to it works, I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom now.
No. I just love your story. I love that it's not the typical, oh, I went Diamond in this many days, then I went presidential, then I went this. I feel like yours is just, it's so raw and so real. And yeah. I love your story, and I love all your babies. And also, Maria signed how many customers when you were in labor and on your way to the hospital to have this baby?
I know. I signed 3 loyal customers that same day when I was giving. I signed 2 loyal customers while pushing through contractions, and then 1 right after she was born, like a few hours later.
That's crazy. I hope that's gonna be me in a couple months.
Yeah, yeah. And we're both mass enrollers, so I signed up 57 loyal customers when I went Emerald, and 54 loyal customers when I went Diamond. And then from there, it's just been like about 30 customers, 30 customers a month.
Yeah, Maria has been featured on Show Me the Money calls, the Spanish one, which is like the corporate Show Me the Money call, just in Spanish. And then she also got Top Enroller with Pam. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Alrighty. So where do you want to start with talking about Ruby, or how to go Ruby? Because I know we have a lot of newbies and a lot of people pushing for that $1,000 Ruby bonus. So I don't know what you think the best. I have a Ruby chart in front of me, a pink one. My team knows that I'm like all about pink. I can take it out of this paper.
Yeah, so, I mean, like I said, when I was going Ruby, I was just so hungry. Like, my why was so strong. Like, I had to act, and I was acting, and it wasn't like I was acting, it was true. I had no option. Like, you just have to have that mindset that there is no option but to go Ruby. If you have that in the back of your head all the time, every single day, right, I am Ruby all over your house. Well, not all over, but somewhere where you're gonna wake up and see it every day, and it's just gonna remind you that if you don't work your business today, you're not gonna go Ruby, and there is no way that you can't go Ruby. So you have to just keep that in the back of your head and keep your why right there in your heart, so that you can go Ruby. It's all also mindset. If you think you can't, you won't. And if you know you can, you will.
Yeah.
So it also has to do with personal development a lot.
Oh my gosh, she's getting so big.
Yeah.
I guess I'm used to literally the 2-day-olds at work. That's all I see, the babies. So when I see a baby that's bigger than 3 days old, I'm like, they're huge, even though they're still so small.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Oh, go ahead.
I don't have any charts printed out. I'm actually going to print them today because my printer wasn't working, but it's fixed now. So I'm going to print out a few charts. But normally, yes, you have to print your chart just so that, I like to, I'm hands-on, so I have to see it in my hand. I have to have my chart in my hand at all time. So that's like one thing that I would recommend if you're hands on. Definitely print your Ruby chart and then just fill in the boxes. Message everyone. Like, I mean, ask who would you like to do this business with? Like, can you think of somebody, like just 5 people that you would love to do this business with? Your best friend, maybe your neighbor, your sister, your coworker, even your mom. Like, who do you want to be in this with you? Message.
I feel like reaching out to people we know is always like, I just feel like the people we know like makes everyone nervous. So what's your biggest tip for like talking to those people in your warm market? And I even like to say, I like to call like you have your warm market, obviously your cold market, and then I feel like there's this lukewarm market in the middle of people that you kind of know. They're not like random people that you've added, but they're not like friends. So how would you like, what's your biggest advice for talking to those warm and lukewarm markets?
I mean, what I did, I was just like, I enrolled one of my sisters and one of my cousins. What else did I enroll? I don't know. I enrolled so many of my warm market, which some of them are still with me, some of them aren't. But that's okay. But it's just like, I mean, since you know them, they're your warm market, that you're really close to them, you just tell them, you have to do this with me. Like, you just have to, like, trust me. Like, you trust me, right? Like, you trust me with your deepest secrets. Like, you just have to do it. I'm telling you. So, I mean, that's just how it was for me when I had them sign up. And just tell them, like, this business is doing this for me, this and that, or it's gonna, like, if you, obviously most of you guys are new, newbies, so you haven't made a lot of money or maybe nothing with it works, but talk about the future, talk about your goals, and then just put them out there, and they'll, like, they'll hold through with you. But if they don't, then that's when you reach out to, I guess, not your colder market, like how Jay likes to call it. Like, if you're friends with them on Facebook, on Instagram, if you're following them back, they are part of your warm market. They're not your cold market, because they have you as a friend. So then I will reach out to those people or just post. I'm not sure if you message for distributors, Ali. I don't message for distributors.
No, I've messaged literally like once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
And the 1 or 2 times I messaged, I did sign up one of my friends, Abby. She's not on here right now, but then I just like, I don't know, just from what I hear, it's not a very good idea.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I got lucky with her, but.
Yeah, I know some people do it, but I don't. I just feel like as long as you're posting, like, live posts, you haven't earned a lot with it works, but talk about what's your goal. Like right now, it's Ruby. So put that out there. I'm going to earn a $1,000 bonus by the end of this month. Who wants this $1,000 bonus with me? Who wants to do this with me? Who also wants another $1,000? Or, just putting your goals out there. Live posts. I work this many jobs, and I'm, I can't believe that in a couple of months or whatever your goal is, I'm gonna be a stay-at-home mom, or I'm gonna be a stay-at-home dog mom or cat mom. Whatever it is that, she was waking up. Yeah, so I would just keep my goal out there and just focus on that, and people will come to you. Like, as long as you're posting something at least once a day, people are gonna start watching you, and they're gonna know you through your posts, through your live posts. They're gonna get to know you, because I get people all the time, like my distributors. They're like, they even tell me, like, I feel like I know, even though I don't know you, I feel like I know you, because you post about your life. Well, I go live, and if you, like, that wasn't me before. I would have never ever went live on Facebook or Instagram, but that's just something that I had to, like, come out of my comfort zone, and I did. And I mean, if you're comfortable with it, I would definitely take advantage of that.
Do you think you signed most of your distributors from Facebook or Instagram?
I actually do like 50-50. So I actually do 50-50. I feel like Facebook live videos help a lot, like with Facebook, because as soon as, like, no lie, as soon as I make like a live video, I get three minimum people message me from that video. And sometimes I even get up to 10 people that message me, like, hey, I saw your video, tell me more about the business, whatever it was that I was talking about. I always get someone to message me, always, from going live. And on Instagram is my stories. So stories are very important on Instagram. It's always my stories. If I don't get to them first, they get to me. Like they message me, but if I message them, they already know who I am because they always tell me like I always watch your stories, and like I wanted to ask you, but I didn't know how to. So don't be afraid to message people because they're watching you and they do want to message you. It's just that they don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what to say. Like I wanted to message you, but I didn't know what to say. So yeah, definitely reach out to those. I'm not sure how. I think you work more Instagram, right?
Yeah, I think I enroll almost all my distributors from Instagram. Facebook, I'll get customers just from host to post.
Oh yeah.
I'm a chicken though. I don't like to go live, even though I did it today. And I'm working on it, but I'm a chicken. And it's always like right before I go live, I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm going to do this. And then I'm always so happy with myself after. And it's not that I like freak out and can't talk on my lives. It just makes me so nervous for some reason. So that's something I'm working on. I'm going to work on doing like the coffee and combos every week, and stuff like that.
That's gonna help a lot.
So what's your biggest tips signing customers?
My customers, I actually get them off of Instagram stories a lot. Like I mentioned before, if I don't message them, I make sure minimum a day I message 100 people a day, minimum. And if I don't get to them first, they get to me, they message me. So I do have a lot of people that come to me, but I basically use the most simple question, just a hey girl, quick question. And I think I learned that from Jade because I think she started doing that. I learned that from Jade, and because most people, when you send them like the whole message, like, "Hey, girl, would you like to try a product from me?" They're like, "No." But I was getting no most of the time. So all I do is I just message, "Hey, girl, quick question." That's it. 90% of people reply. Like 90% of people reply. And then from there, you can send a message like, I was going through your profile and I think you look really nice. You look like a really nice person and you're so beautiful. I'm looking for a few product clients. That's different. I use clients instead of testers or models because they think that it's free because they're always like, wait, is it free? So that's why I use clients to try a product for me for 3 months. You would get my discount. I mentioned again, client discount, 90 days for 90 days. Would you be open to hearing more about it? Because I feel like I also had to learn this because I used to say, would you be interested? They're not interested because they have no idea what you're talking about. So most people will say no, like, no, I'm not interested. So I started using, would you be open to hearing more information? Or can I give you more information? Are you open-minded to me giving you more information? Things like that. I switch it around also. That's the other thing. I don't really use a script. I just like go based off like whatever, like whatever I'm feeling that day or whatever. I type up a quick message and I just go by that day. Or I'll use that for like a week, then I'll change it up. But yeah, that's what I do. And then from there, once they give me, once they say yes, I'm open. Everyone likes to think that they're open-minded, or everyone says that they're open-minded. So once they say yes, then I ask for their phone number. Okay, what's your phone number? I'll text you. It's just easier for me than DM. Always give me their phone number. Like I get like maybe like a few, one or two that just never reply or that say, can we just talk through here? Then we'll just keep the conversation there. But most of the time they give me their phone number. I text them, hey girl, it's Maria from Instagram. Hey, and then, we start a conversation. How are you? And then I give them the list of the products. I just list them, very simple. So it's a health and wellness company and we offer products for all kinds of people. Give me 1 second, Ali.
You're good. Okay, well, she is taking care of that. I can go over like the Ruby chart. I'm sure most of you guys have seen it. I'm going to go over like what is in a Ruby chart while you're doing that. So obviously there's you're at the top here in your box. You have to be commission qualified. So that's either 150 personal volume, or if you run an 80 BV auto shipment, and then you have 3 people on your top line here. And then one of those people have to have 2 legs under them, which is executive. So you have 3 people and one of them is an executive. The person in the executive spot, same thing as you, they only have to have 150 in volume or 80 BV auto shipment. I think that's where a lot of people get caught up and they get confused. I've had some people fill this box all the way to 400, thinking that needs to be 400 too. But just remember that that's only 150 and then 400 and 400. And that sounds like a super, super lot until one day I realized that to get to 400, you can sign 4 customers and get in the 400 club. You can sign 4 systems and get in the 400 club. So it's a lot closer than it seems when you break it down like that. Either 4 systems or 8 wraps or 14 hair, skin, and nails or greens. Or like the combo, the keto coffee and
the keto coffee pack and the chocolate greens.
That would be like 8-ish customers. So it's a lot closer than you think. So that's what the room chart is.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like I was signing loyal customers with a lot of BV also with like they were getting packs, and that's because when I talk to them, I don't know if you ask for their budget, but I don't. I used to, but not anymore. I'm starting to again just because like I'm testing something out, but I didn't when I was signing that many customers, I was not asking them for a budget. I was just like, okay, well, they tell me their goals, that like how much they're trying to lose or whatever. We talk about what products I would best recommend for them or whatever. And then, but I don't ask them their budget. So once they ask for price, I start with the highest pack that I think would, best fit them. For example, the system or the Fit 30 pack, whichever one, depending on their lifestyle and goals. And I will start with that. Then if they say, oh, that's too much, or, that's not in my budget, then we will go down and I'll be like, okay, so how about this? So then that's when you break it down for them and explain that, because sometimes they also think that they have to pay everything up front, like the 3 months. So that's also something that I like to break it down for them. But that's how I was signing like high BV loyal customers, because I wasn't assuming like their budget. I'm like, because you could be just recommending fat fighters, meanwhile they could have gotten the system.
Right. I feel like that's something when I first started, I mean, I was, not that I like needed the money at the time, but like I didn't have $100 to spend on the system, you know what I mean? So or almost 200, I guess. But so I would recommend the fat fighters for everyone. I'm like, oh, fat fighters, fat fighters, fat fighters.
And you feel comfortable too, because it's only $25. So it's
yeah,
like, it feels more comfortable. Yeah. I mean, I feel like at the beginning I was doing that too, but then I needed BV. Like,
yeah.
I needed to go diamond and emerald, and I was just starting at the highest pack because it's just easier to like downsell than upsell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I think another big thing when you're trying to promote, you need to be in contact with the people that are underneath you, whether you enrolled them or not.
For sure.
You need to be, it's like a working thing here. Like you need to be helping them also so they can reach their goals. Because if you sit there and try to do it all yourself, it's going to, one, get overwhelming. And then those people in those boxes, they're not going to know how to work. So it's important to grab those people's hands and literally walk them through everything that you're doing too. And same, your upline should be doing the same with you, I hope. So it's all about teamwork when it comes to doing this and getting the bonuses and stuff.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
It does. Also finding accountability people, whether it's like in our like page or whether it's in the big Black Diamond Bootcamp page. That's how I found Maria. Getting accountability partners. It's just, you hear different ideas. Different teams do different things. Who's your upline, Sam?
Yeah.
So Sam does things different than Caitlin does, and it's just cool to see what different legs people do.
Yeah, that's true. And they're both under J, so.
Right, yeah.
Like, it just goes to show that, you can have the same upline and do things differently, but still be successful.
Yeah.
So it's whatever, like also what works for one person might not work for the other person. So I'm just telling you guys what works for me. So this is what works for me. I've had some of my team, like they have tried to send out the hey girl quick question and it just doesn't work for them. So, but it works like extremely well for me, but it might not work for everybody. So you just have to find whatever works for you. Try like different things, trial and error. That's what businesses like. All businesses, any kind of businesses, they go through trial and error. And that's part of the journey too. Like you learn from your mistakes. You're like, okay, well, this doesn't work, so let me try this. And then, you just keep going and you're going to find whatever works for you and then just stick to that.
Yep. All right. Does anyone have any questions for Maria or myself? You can just put them in the chat.
I got one for you.
Carter just walked in. I feel like the comments are sometimes deleted.
I can't see comments. I can't see. Is there any chat? Oh.
Yeah, there should be.
Oh, okay, got it.
Or you can unmute yourself and ask a question if that works too.
If anyone has any questions for Ali, my team.
Heather, you always have questions. And Tessa, you always have questions too. My mom's. Yeah. Okay, I don't think anyone has any questions for us.
It's fine. I mean, I hope we cover that part. But if you guys have any more questions ongoing, Ruby, definitely. If that's your goal, if you want $1,000 plus commissions, because with the 1,000 is just a bonus. Remember.
Right.
Commissions.
Oh, how do you grow your market from Amber?
The what? Oh.
How do you grow your market?
Oh, okay. Well, on Instagram, I follow my friends' followers. So like I'll go into like one of my friends, I'll click on her likes, and it always has to be like her most recent picture, and that has like a bunch of likes, like more than 100 likes, or I mean whatever. You can do more than 50, but I like to follow those who get like more than 100 likes. And like one of their most recent pictures, and then I just follow, like I don't follow guys, some people do, but I don't. I just follow like all the girls. I actually follow organically. I'm not sure if that's what you meant by your question. I know some people use Captivate to follow people, but I follow organically. I'm not sure how you do it, Ali, but I follow organically.
I do Captivate pretty much all the time, and it does come in like waves, I feel like. So maybe that's the problem, Amber. I feel like we talked about it today, but maybe because sometimes there was probably like a month that Captivate just didn't work for me. Like, I don't know if Instagram caught on or what. And then after taking a break, it worked again. So yeah, I just go, usually I go, what's it called? Like the Explore page or something.
Oh, yeah.
In the Captivate app, I'll pull up the Explore page and click on things from there. And that same, I just follow girls too. I did figure out with Captivate, I used to be able to follow like 1,000 people, like put them all in the cloud and then just have it follow for like a day and a half or whatever. But my cats are jumping in things. I feel like Instagram gets mad when you do that. So now I just do like 300 to 400-ish. 400 is even kind of a lot. Usually probably like 200 to 300 at a time, and just do that per day. And I get plenty of follow backs. But yeah, I usually just go to the Discover page and look at pages from there. Or since I'm a nurse, I'll do like nursing memes or like nurse prob pages. Like what else have I done? Like my sorority, like national other sororities, stuff like that. So I just find things that
they have in common
to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, because like I have it in my bio, like I'm a nurse and I'm like a sorority alumni and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mom. So I feel like I get pretty good followers back from that. Facebook, I suck at adding on Facebook. I try and I've been getting better, but that I just do friends of friends. Like if someone is on my timeline that is not like a distributor or whatever, I'll just go who liked their status and then like friend a couple people from there and then just scroll and keep doing that.
Mm-hmm. So for Facebook, I used to do groups, but then I don't know, like I started getting like funky people, like just people that like I don't know, weird people. So I stopped doing the groups. What I started to do was I would go to events, like on like you're always getting notifications about events near you. So I would go to events, click interested, and then I will click. Well, I still do it. I click on interested, and then I add the people that also clicked interested or going.
That's a good idea. I've done that before too, but I kind of forgot about it until just now.
That's how I follow one. That's how I friend people on Facebook.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And yeah.
And I've been trying to grow like more locally too, so I like that idea.
Yeah.
No.
That's New York City, guys.
Yeah.
It's always loud here.
Okay, so one other question is, how do you break down your time each day to not get worn out?
Okay, yeah. So that's a good question actually, because I am a mom of four, and thank God two of my oldest girls are going into school tomorrow. They're going back to school. So the summer's been rough. It's been pretty rough, but I go to sleep 1 hour later than my bedtime, and I wake up an hour earlier. And now with the baby, I barely sleep anyway. So whenever like I have her in my arms, especially at night, if I'm breastfeeding her or whatever, like you only need one hand. So I'm always like on my phone on the other hand anyway. Even if I wasn't in this business, like I remember I used to find myself just on my phone, like, breastfeeding her or whatever. So I use that time to like answer a quick message, or I just go with the flow. But I do have like 2 power hours a day. So one before everybody wakes up, and then one right before when everyone goes to sleep. Like I just spend like 1 or 2 hours just straight working my business with no distractions. And then all throughout the day, I'm just answering messages as I go and as I can. And I mean, that's how I do it. But now that the girls are going to school, I might be able to squeeze in, an extra 2 hours a day. And I mean, I am a stay-at-home mom, so obviously I may have more time than people that work. But when I was working, I would use all my lunch breaks, like, lunch break, bathroom breaks, and when before you go in, answer messages or send a few messages as soon as you get out on your way home. But yeah, that's just how I do it. And you work, Ali, so I'm not sure how you.
Yeah, so I mean, my days it's hard because I do work all day long. It's not like I don't get to go in at 8 and leave at 5. I'm there from 7 to 7. So usually I, before I go in, I know, poor thing, Carter said. So this is like recording and it's going to be on YouTube. So everyone's going to hear you making fun of me. Now he's okay. So usually like I get a lot of messaging stuff done when I'm off in the mornings, but before I go to work, like the next day at night, I try to send out as many messages as I can. I obviously I'm pregnant, so I need all the sleep I can get, I'm just a good sleeper. I like to sleep. I go to bed early. So when I wake up before I go in, while I'm like, also I like wake up 15 minutes before I have to leave. So I don't really, I like sleep as much as I can. So in the mornings, I try to like reply to anyone that replied overnight or in the morning. Before I leave, I try to get a post out in the morning, even though it's like 6 in the morning. I don't post while I'm at work, but like if I get messages, I'll respond to people. And then when I get home, it's the hardest thing to not just want to like go to sleep again, but I try to keep responding. Usually the days I work, I don't get very many messages out, but I just try to keep the conversations going. So that's hard working all day long because there's not much time to sit and get stuff done. But I also have 2 separate checklists. So my team knows about our little checklist thing. I don't know if I have one in front of me, but I just sent out like a little packet of checklist, like daily minimums to do each day. Oh, another big thing that helps while I work. I live probably less than 15 minutes away from work. Almost every morning I listen to like a self-development video or like some kind of motivation on my way to work. So that's like a big help too. But I have like a daily minimum checklist. but I also have a separate one for days that I do work, because I feel like sometimes when you have these daily minimums and these checklists, and it's the end of the day and you're like not even close to being done, it's so tempting to just be like, okay, I give up today, I'll restart tomorrow. And then it just gets into this cycle. So I do have like a separate little work days checklist. Because then, I don't know, I like to get all my things checked off, and it just makes you feel good. It makes you want to keep going. So that's how I do that.
Organization, for sure. Like you, well, for me, I am a crazy mess, and I don't get anything done if I'm not organized. Even with my personal life, if I don't write it down on a piece of paper, I will forget. Like I forget appointments if I don't write them down in my calendar. I will. Like I almost forgot that my baby has an appointment tomorrow. Like right now, as soon as I drop off the girls, I had to head to the clinic for her doctor's appointment. And even for my business, if I don't write it down, I will forget. So that's another thing. Some people are really good, at remembering what happened. Okay, I'm going right now. Hold on. I'm gonna send them to sleep.
Okay. That's funny. Okay, well, I'll start on the next one. When you first started, were host posts a big help with getting LCs? So for me, when I first started, host post wasn't a thing. That kind of started in like the very end of last year, and not very many people do it, or did it back like at the end of the year last year. People started doing host to post way more like this spring. And for me personally, they were like a hot hit for a month or two, and now Facebook is like catching on to the algorithms, and it's like not as good, at least for me. Like some people still get great results with host to post. I forget if Maria, do you do host to post?
I tried a couple of times, and I have signed some customers, but apparently, like supposedly they're saying that like Facebook already caught on to it, so I'm trying to stay away from it. I mean, I'm still gonna do them here and there, but I heard they're not as effective as they used to be.
Yeah, they're definitely not as effective for me.
Yeah, but you were doing really good.
Yeah, like it was like the months, like I don't know, April and June and July, like those couple months, I signed like a ton of customers for host to post, but Facebook's catching on and they don't show it as much.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the last question, what's your biggest tip for sealing the deal?
My biggest tip, well, I always go into the mentality of like they're gonna sign up. Like I just like know like they're gonna sign up. So I'm talking to them, and then as soon as they like we go over pricing, and if they say so much whatever, we down sell at the beginning. Once we agree on the price or whatever, then that's when I ask immediately, so are you ready to order now? And usually when they say that, they're like, oh, right now? Like, yeah, sure, why not? So that's just like the biggest thing for me. I always ask, are you ready to order now? And they're like, yeah. Like if they say no, like I'm home. As soon as I get home, I'll text you. So then I'll just put a reminder on my phone to remind myself, because they're not gonna text you. They're not like. So then I just send them a quick message later. If they don't, sometimes they do. I've had a couple of people message me, like, hey, I can do it now. But like for me, that's just like, are you ready to order right now? I'm not sure about you, Ali.
Yeah, I kind of use the same thing. Once we go through it and they're like, yeah, sounds good. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Do you have a few minutes now? Like a few minutes right now or something like that. Yeah. Actually, here's what I don't even know. I'm not even going to try to find it on my phone because it'll take me a while. But it's something along the lines of like, perfect, do you have a few minutes right now? If not, I'll grab your info and put it in for you. So it's like, do you have time to order? If not, I'll order for you kind of thing. And a lot of times they're like, yeah, or like, I'll send you the info or whatever. So once I send them the script to sign up, I would say more people sign up on my website than I like enroll them on eSuite. But once I send them the script to sign up, usually like right after that, I say, you're going to get an ID number at the end. Make sure you save that. And that's how you'll log into my website in the future. I'll check back in 15 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes if they said they were like doing something, to make sure you get ordered okay. So then they know that you're expecting them to order right then and there. Because at first I feel like people would just like think, oh, I'll do it tonight. And when I say that, like you set that expectation, a lot of times they're like, oh, well, I'm going to do it tonight when I get home from work. And then you know that they're going to do it tonight and you're not sitting there waiting for their confirmation. So I like to say that, okay, I'll check back in 10 minutes or whatever. Usually with like in the 10 to 15 minutes, first I'll check eSuite. And if I see their order in, I'm like, hey, I saw your order in. Like thanks for whatever, let me know when it comes in the mail. If I don't see it in, I'll say, did you get set up okay?
Yeah, like I kind of do the same thing also. I sometimes they like, you know, they're like, okay, so is it through your website? Yes, it's through my website. And they're like, can you order it for me? I have some people that ask me if I can order for them. I'm like, for sure. And then I have a picture of like from WordSwag. I'm not sure if you have that same picture, but I just send it to them. Okay, just send me this info back, and then they do it. And then that's another thing. I feel like a lot of people are like, what if they don't trust me? What if they don't want to give me their info? Just send them the picture, and then it's up to them. You know, the worst they can say is no, or if they say no, I just, okay, so do you want me to call you? I can call you and put it in as you give me the info. So that's another way that I do it also. I call them.
Yeah, and if I don't get people's numbers off of Instagram right away. I usually keep the convo going at Instagram just because I use the collections in Instagram and it keeps me more organized to know like my potentials and stuff like that. Once they're in my phone, I have gotten people and they just get lost in my phone. So I keep them on Instagram, but if I get their info, I always say, oh, text me. I like freaks me out sending info over Instagram. And then they're like, oh, okay, like freaks you out too. So yeah, they like trust you more when you do that. I've never had anyone say like, no, I'm not going to give you my info though. Some people would rather call, but I've never really had anyone say no, totally. The picture I have is actually like a picture of the actual form. I just asked like 5 times.
Because it has the disclosure, right?
Yeah, and it has like stuff highlighted, and I like to send that just because it like looks legit, and people are like, "Oh," I'm like, "Here, let me send you a picture of the form real quick," and that's what I send them. And then they're like, "Okay, that's like a legit form," but yeah, I've never had anyone get super freaked out.
Yeah, this is the one that I sent. I should start doing that. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's like a word swag picture.
Oh yeah, I have seen that before.
Yeah, so that's what I use. But then I also send them, like as soon as they send me this, I send them, I haven't done this in a while because they just have all been signing up through my website for some reason. But I do have like a script that goes over the terms and conditions. And I'm like, do you agree? And then once you say yes, I screenshot it and I put it in a separate album on my phone. When I just put confirmations. So that's another way that I used to do it a lot when I was signing a lot of customers through my eSuite.
That's a good idea. Yeah, when I do sign them through my eSuite, I grab their info and I'm like, okay, like stay there real quick. I'm going to put it in and then I'm going to send you the total before I hit submit. And then I like take a picture of the total because it's different with no matter where people live with tax and stuff. So then I send them the picture of the total and I just reiterate that, okay, it's this much, 3 months, blah, 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 blah. Like I'll hit submit when you say it's okay. And then hit submit.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Alrighty. So I think we've covered a lot. If anyone else has questions, just let me or Maria know. Thanks for getting on here with us, Maria. I've been so excited.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for jumping on.
Thank you. Bye.